Tell me about the city of Columbus.
Well, of course, it happened before I was born, but I mean, I know the stories of it. My grandfather used to always say it was only the young kids that were mainly saved, because they'd be in the rig and they'd tell the kids to jump in the water so they could pick them up. But they'd tell the older people and they wouldn't jump. And a lot of them froze right there in the rigging.
Would he tell you stories about the city of Columbus?
Oh, yeah.
How would he describe it?
Yeah, well, the word went out that there was a boat ashore and there was hundreds of people, you know. At the time, that was the greatest marine disaster along the Atlantic coast. And it's amazing, it happened on a clear night and everything else. Evidently, the pilot must have gone to sleep. Maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't know what happened. But anyway, it shouldn't have happened on a clear night. Well, one of the main things was Lieutenant Rhodes, who got all the credit for saving and going in the water. He was in charge of the revenue cutter. I don't know if he was in charge of the captain of it or what, but he was one of the senior officials. But my grandfather always said at the time, that man didn't save anybody. You know, he was drunk and fell overboard. And then they glorified him. And probably 70, 80 years after this happened, or maybe more, the Virginia Gazette, I don't know where they got, but they got the truth of this out, and they knew it, yeah.
And so your grandfather and the rest of the crew, what did they do? They took a life-saving boat, or?
Yeah, took a life-saving boat right from the outside here, and went out to the boat right in the eye of the storm, you might say, blowing a full gale. I don't think there was a Coast Guard that time. There was a life-saving station. This was sort of a picked-up crew amongst people at Gay Head here. Of course, they picked the best seamen, the best oarsmen, the guys who could handle it. I think he pulled the bow oar, which more or less set the pace for the guys rowing and everything, yeah. And I always remember, he said, Joe Peters, who was sort of in command, he'd been on whaleboats all his life as a young boy whaling. He took off his shoes and everything, just was in his stocking feet, although they was making ice right in the bottom of the boat at the time. Because he said he couldn't afford to slip, because if he did, it would be the end of him.
Did your grandfather say that was a frightening experience? I mean, what would he say about it?
I don't think he ever had fear. There was a job that had to be done, and that people had to be saved, and he considered that he was one of the people that could do it.
Did people up in Gay Head have things that had washed ashore?
Oh, yeah. I got a binoculars and a spyglass that come from it. Well, I got water and can't see through it good now, but I still got it. And my aunt gave me his medal.